guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 12 o'clock on a Sunday, which means it's time for a Q&A. This is where I take all of your questions that you've asked over the course of the week and I try to answer them to the best of my ability. First of all, thank you very much for everyone that's left a question for this week. Really appreciate it. These Q&A sessions live and die by the questions that are asked. So if you want to leave a question, and I'd love it if you could, just leave it down below in this video. It's got to be this video because there's so many comments on this channel now. If they're on other videos, there is a very good chance I won't see it. So if you want to have a question answered about anything next week, just leave a comment down below. Before we start, just two very quick things. Number one, I've started using Instagram. We have an Instagram channel for this YouTube channel for Magic TV. I'm posting every single day on there, some videos and stuff that don't go on the YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe on Instagram, the link is down below in the description. Just click on the link and you can join. Also, one other thing, I want to ask you a question. One of the most popular things that I do on this channel are the Talk Magics, the interviews. And I've been doing, we're now kind of doing unofficially 3 interviews a week. We do one on a Tuesday, one on a Saturday, and we say we do one every so often on a Wednesday, but we've been pretty much hitting that every Wednesday target for the last couple of months. So we're doing a lot of interviews on this channel. I would like to know from you in the comments down below, are there particular magicians you want to see interviewed? I have had some people say on this channel, hey, you're interviewing some really big names in Magic, which is fantastic, but what about the younger guys? What about the people that are newer into Magic that have made a name for themselves? And, I try to do that as much as possible. I try to not just interview the big names, but also people who I consider to kind of be very underground, people like Jester Styles, Tom Mullinger, Owen Strickland, perfect examples. I've just done an interview with an incredible magician whose name is Ashley Goodwin. Check her out on Instagram. She's phenomenal. Stuff she can do with playing cards, absolutely brilliant. Well, I've just finished an interview with her, but let me know down below, who would you like me to interview? Who would you like to see interviewed? I will reach out to them, absolutely not a problem. Let me know down below. Anyway, with that all said, let's get straight on with the questions. So I've had several questions about this first subject, which is the Magic Circle. I've had probably 7 or 8 people ask for my thoughts in the last few days about what's going on in the Magic Circle. And I was kind of a little bit confused because I don't know what's going on in the Magic Circle, or at least I didn't when people started asking me questions. But since then, I've had a lot of people message me. I've had people contact me. Let me explain, first of all, to newer people that are on this channel, with regards to the Magic Circle, you can check out videos that I've done on this channel in the past. I have a very checkered history of the Magic Circle. I publicly kind of slagged them off many years ago when my membership lapsed and I wasn't allowed to rejoin. I wrote a blog, which I very much regret. I was in a bad place. I was kind of in a bad place. I was very angry with the world. I was very angry with everybody, and I was taking out on the Magic Circle. And a few weeks ago, I apologized to the Magic Circle and said, hey, publicly apologized, took the blog down, took everything down, really sorry. And since then, I've been really actively promoting the Magic Circle, because from the outside looking in, and all I can do is give my opinion from the outside looking in, the Magic Circle are doing everything right. And I've spoke on this channel before about how I asked to rejoin the Magic Circle and the council decided no, and I couldn't, and that's fine, and that's their prerogative. To be honest, I wasn't that surprised because I have been very outspoken about them in the past. I then kind of reached out to the membership secretary and said, hey, what do I need to do? It's looking like for a while, at least, if not permanently, I'm not going to be a Magic Circle member, which is fair enough. That doesn't stop me from expressing my opinions on the Magic Circle, and I've been very honest and very open, and I've said that I think that the Magic Circle is a great organisation. I don't think that about some Magic clubs. I think there's a lot of Magic clubs that are doing things wrong, but I don't think that's the case with the Magic Circle. In fact, what they've done in lockdown with their Magic Circle Unlocked and the it just shows with the amount of people that have joined the circle or applied to join off the back of all the different unlock programs. I think that what they're doing from an outsider's perspective, everything looks absolutely amazing in the Magic Circle. So I was very confused when people said, hey, what's your opinion on what's going on in the Magic Circle? Because I really don't know. Unless you're in the Magic Circle, they don't just guard the secrets, they guard what's going on in there as well. Having said that, I have had various different Magic Circle members reach out to me that are friends that are also in the Magic Circle that have said, hey, this is going on and this is going on and this is going on and what's your thoughts on this and what's your thoughts on that? And I don't want to get into it because how can I give an opinion on something that I'm not actively involved in. You can't really give an opinion unless I'm not in the circle. Like I say, I can't really stress that enough. I'm not in the circle. So all I'm hearing is secondhand hearsay. I'm not hearing it from everybody's perspective. But from what I've heard, there's a little bit of politicking and there's a little bit of people, I'm unhappy with this person, I'm unhappy with this person. And people want to know my opinion on it, which is very nice that you want to know my opinion. My opinion is this. The Magic Circle is the oldest and most prestigious magic club in the world. Fact. It really is. The Magic Circle has an incredible reputation amongst the general public. Fact. And the Magic Circle has an incredible reputation amongst magicians. I can't tell you the amount of magicians I've seen post on Facebook that have said, my lifelong ambition has succeeded. I'm now a member of the Magic Circle, after they've gone through the application process, after they've gone through the examination process. And they post very, very proudly on Facebook, I am a member of the Magic Circle now. I see the pride that people have. The Magic Circle are doing great things. Now, if there is politicking within the organisation, one, they've done a great job of covering it up because nobody really knows about that, which is fantastic. But number two, if I had to say anything about this, I'd say go back and watch the Faye Presto interview. I put the Faye Presto interview up on Tuesday, and she spoke about the Magic Circle, and she's been involved with the Magic Circle a lot longer than me. She's a member of the Inner Magic Circle with a gold star. She's MIMC or whatever it is. She's been there, done that, bought the T-shirts, and she said, we should just have fun. It's a magic organisation at the end of the day. We're magicians, we're entertainers. We should be in a position where we're having fun, and I absolutely agree. I remember when I met my wife, Sarah, and she was into watching all the soaps. In the UK, we get loads of soaps like EastEnders and Coronation Street and Emmerdale Farm. And it's basically a daily TV programme. It feels like it comes out every single day, where there's not really it's kind of just following people's lives and all the drama that happens in their lives. But it's kind of a programme about everyday people. It's scripted, obviously, but it's basically a programme about everyday people. Just living their everyday lives and all of the stuff that's going wrong. And I said, I don't watch soaps, and I don't, and I haven't, and I will not watch soaps. And she said to me, why? And I said, well, there's enough drama going on in my life. I don't want to have, I don't want to be in a situation where every single night I'm watching drama unfold in somebody else's life. I've got my own stuff to deal with. That's not how I want to, that's not how I want to downtime. That's not how I want to enjoy things, by watching drama unfold in other people's lives. Well, it's the same with the Magic Circle. A lot of people join the Magic Circle because of their love of magic. They join the Magic Circle because they love magic. And the Magic Circle, in my opinion, and as I say, this is an outsider's opinion, is that ultimately should be what it's all about. It should be about enjoying, communicating with each other, building relationships with other magicians, and ultimately having fun. If you're in the Magic Circle and it's becoming a chore because you're having to deal with issues and arguments and fighting, well, very, very soon people are going to go somewhere else. You have so many options of how you get to spend your downtime these days. There's so many different things. It's not like back in the day when I was a kid. It's not like that, where there were just 4 TV channels and that's it. Now there's like multiple streaming platforms. There's a million different places. There's thousands of Facebook groups, and really great Facebook groups covering every single hobby and interest. Millions of them just on magic. So if people are in an organisation where everybody's arguing and bitching and fighting and moaning, well, that's just going to eventually push people away. And I know a lot of new people have come into the Magic Circle recently, and they're probably coming in. I know they're proud because they post about it on Facebook and, oh, this is absolutely amazing, I'm in the Magic Circle. What you don't want to have happen is people to come in with rose-tinted glasses. Oh my gosh, I'm in the Magic Circle. This is absolutely amazing. I finally made it. And then they get very disheartened very quickly because the experience that they have when they are a member isn't the experience they hoped for, and that's when they walk away. And this comes from my background in business networking, because when you work, because I do a lot of business networking to grow my business, and networking organizations, they are so inclusive of anybody. You go into a networking organization, their goal is for you to become a member of that networking organization. So everybody's really friendly. They have people that just are there to make other people feel welcome. Because they know that if they have a great experience and maybe they get some business over time, they'll want to come back again and again and again. And that's good for them. It's good for the other members. It's good for the networking organization as a whole. But it's the same with the Magic Circle. The Magic Circle's number one priority should be to have for their members to have an amazing time, because at the end of the day, their members are paying subs to be a member of that organization. They're paying money to be a member of that organization. And if they're paying money, they then have to say to themselves, well, what am I getting out of this? And if it's just watching arguments unfold, and I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is. I don't know the full story. To be honest, I don't want to know the full story, because, and again, I know I keep repeating myself, but from the outside looking in, the Magic Circle seems fantastic. It's just people have asked me to address this, and that's what I'm doing. So my opinion is very, very simple. The Circle is a fantastic organization, but they have to be careful, because they have to deliver they need to make sure that their members are having a great time. That's all I'm saying. They need to make sure that their members are having a great time. At the end of the day, it's not about he said this or she said this or you did this or you did that. It's not about any of that. It's about showing each other card tricks. I've said this before. I've been to magic clubs in the past where nobody shows each other a magic trick. Nobody ever does a magic trick to each other. I've been in magic organizations before where there's people that are members of the magic organization that don't even do magic. You know, it should be about learning new magic and having fun, and not constantly worrying about, oh, who's upset who now, what's happened, what's going to happen when I log into Facebook this morning and I check out the Magic Circle group. It shouldn't be about that. So that's my opinion. I spoke to Robert Pound the other day. I did an interview with him, which is coming out on the channel soon, and it's all about how to join the Magic Circle. And Robert, I didn't really know Robert before this interview. And I'll tell you right now, I had a thoroughly amazing time speaking to Robert. He is one of the most eloquent, nicest people I ever had the pleasure of speaking to. I could have had an interview that went twice as long as it did. It was a pleasure speaking to him, and it was a pleasure watching how passionate he is about the Magic Circle. It was a pleasure, and he spoke so eloquently about joining the Magic Circle and the benefits of joining the Magic Circle, and it should be the standards that the Magic Circle demands, and he was speaking very passionately about the apprentice group, which I didn't even know, but there's an apprentice group. So when you come into the circle, you're put into this apprentice group, and then from the apprentice group, eventually you get, the goal is to get you a full member of the Magic Circle. And he was talking to me about all the different things that are happening in this apprentice group and how positive it is and how wonderful experience it is. And my question is, and I'll leave it on this, if that's the case, and I'm asking this to Magic Circle members because I don't know, if the apprentice group is such a wonderful, rosy environment, which it appears to be, having spoken to Robert, and I believe him 100%, is the main Magic Circle group as positive an experience? Is being a member of the Facebook group for the main Magic Circle as positive an experience as it is for the apprentices? And if it's not, well, why not? Because what's the difference between an apprentice and somebody in the Magic Circle? One exam. Because as soon as you pass your exam, you go into the main thing. They're still new. They still want to be nurtured. They still want the same things, which is to enjoy themselves and feel like they're benefiting from being a part of this amazing organization. And if the main Magic Circle group, because at the moment we have to talk about Facebook groups, we can't go to physical buildings at the moment, and hopefully we will soon, but we can't right now. But if that experience isn't as good as when it's in the apprentice group, I can't understand why it wouldn't, because you've got some amazing magicians in the Magic Circle that are all going to be part of that group. There's going to be some phenomenal magicians. I know a lot of the magicians that are in the Magic Circle that would help anybody at the drop of a hat. So why is it, as 4 different people said to me, a toxic environment? Somebody needs to sort it out. It's not my job. And that's my opinion. It's very difficult, like I say, I'll say it one more time, very difficult to give an opinion when you're not actually part of the situation. I'm just hearing hearsay and secondhand knowledge, and I might just be fed absolute rubbish information just to make me look stupid to answer this question. I don't know. But I answer every single question I'm asked, regardless of what it's about. If it's about my personal life, if it's about anything, I will answer it. No question is left unturned. I'm 100% honest with you guys. And ultimately, if people aren't enjoying their time in the magic circle, then it's somebody's job to fix that, to make it more of an enjoyable experience. Because if they don't, what's going to happen is ultimately people will leave. And that will undo a lot of the hard work that's taken place over the last year with, the unlockeds and everything that they've done, and how amazing a job they've done. And they have done an amazing job. It will undo all of that. So there you go. That's my opinion. So I hope that answers the question of everybody who asked that. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, so the next question is by Sean Andrechak. I think that's how you pronounce it. How you doing, Sean? And his question is, here is a question. I would like to learn a coin flurry. What are your favourites and what resources can I look to? Well, I absolutely love coin flurries. Now, there's a couple of different resources that I'm going to point you to. The first person that kind of came up with the concept of a flurry was David Roth. And you definitely should look into David Roth's material. First of all, for anybody watching this that doesn't understand what a flurry is, let me get a coin. There we go. So a flurry is the concept of doing multiple vanishes and reappearances. So, I'm going to put a coin over there and it jumps over there. I'm going to put a coin over there and it jumps down there. Check it out. I'm going to put a coin over there and it jumps over there. If I take a coin and put it over there, it jumps, all that sort of stuff, right? Now, David Roth was the first person to do a coin flurry. I have seen lots of people do coin flurries now. Michael Amar, on his Easy to Master Coin Magic series, he put a coin flurry on there, which was really good as well. But I think the first person you should study is David Roth. Now, David Roth actually published something as well called the lapel coin. And what the lapel coin is it's the whole idea of having a suit jacket and then taking a shell with some carpet tape, double-sided carpet tape, and having that stuck underneath the lapel. So you've got a shell there that you can access when you want it, because then it makes the vanishes more magical. So, for example, you can have the coin disappear from here, and then you can say, if I want to bring it back, it appears back under there, and you can show that, and then you can take it away and put it over there and make it jump over there or whatever, because you're effectively bringing a second coin in and out of play when you need it, and when you don't need it, you don't need it. So the lapel coin is a great one to look at. David Roth's lapel coin, David Roth's flurry. The other thing that you should do is look into some of Danny Goldsmith's material. And if you haven't seen Danny Goldsmith, do me a favor, go and watch the Talk Magic that went live yesterday at 9 o'clock BST. Go and check that out. It's right there on the playlist. Danny is phenomenal. I knew of Danny Goldsmith and I knew of his work, but I didn't really know that much about him. And I sat there during that interview for 2 hours and he fooled me again and again and again and again and again. And he's got some wonderful thoughts about the flurry. He specifically talks about the flurry in the interview, and he talks about how it's not magical. Having the coin jump around all over the place, it's very difficult for people to watch what's happening. It's very difficult to watch what's going on. It's very difficult to keep track of things. And he talks about how you can present a flurry in a way that's far more entertaining. Now, whether you agree with Danny or not, the opening routine that he does, he takes a coin in a purse, he drops the coin out, he does this wonderful presentation about time travel. The coin disappears, goes back inside the purse, and it's basically a coin flurry, but presented in a completely different way, as opposed to it's going to jump over here, it's going to be over here. So it's well worth looking at that interview, and if you like it, go buy some of Danny's material, because he talks about that in great detail. The other person I'd suggest looking at is Greg Wilson, because Greg Wilson has got some amazing work on that concept. Now, the first thing I'd talk about is his chip on the shoulder routine. He's got this chip on the shoulder routine with a purse, and there's a chip in it, and the coin, the chip disappears, and it basically keeps going onto the spectator's shoulder. It's a chip on shoulder thing, and then the purse goes onto the shoulder, and then it goes. It's kind of very Flurry-esque because you're using one chip. And that's the thing. A Flurry doesn't just have to be, if it jumps over here, it's over here, it jumps over here, it's over here. There's lots of other ways to do it. And it's well worth checking Greg's workout on that, because that's really kind of interesting. The other thing that I'd say with Greg is have a look at his split focus, which is his new thing that we reviewed recently, a couple of weeks ago on Craig and Ryland's review show. We reviewed split focus, and split focus is his work on a split coin. And a lot of the routines apparently just use one coin. But because he's using a split coin or a modified split coin, he's actually got access to 3 coins. So he's got these wonderful sequences where the coin vanishes and reappears and vanishes, and now you've got 2 and now you've got 1. And watching him with his presentations, it's really kind of interesting what he does. He's got this wonderful thing where he's got this heads and tails style routine where he's always winning, he's always getting the heads and the spectator isn't. And he's using the techniques of a Flurry to give a kind of a pseudo explanation of how this is done. And I'm switching in this coin, I'm switching in that coin. I really enjoyed watching that. I thought that was great. So I'd look into some of Greg's work as well, but obviously start off with the original. Start off with David Roth, then go into Danny Goldsmith, then go into Greg Wilson. There's a load of other techniques and ideas out there that you can do. My advice to you as well would be to use your own creativity, because what is a Flurry at the end of the day? All a Flurry is a sequence of vanishes and reproductions with one coin. It's what makes it a really great opener. And you can frame a coin Flurry very simply by saying you normally start off with a coin production. So look, I'm going to take a coin, I'm going to make it disappear. Then you'll do, I don't know, vanish, it'll disappear, it'll come back, I don't know what's going to happen. But it's basically a sequence of vanishes and reproductions, and then a finale. And a lot of the time, the finale is a jumbo coin production, right? It's a jumbo coin production, because that's a nice way to end this whole thing. So use your imagination. How are you going to do this? Write down every single vanish that you know. Write down every single reproduction that you know. Think about an opening routine. How are you going to think about an opening sequence? How are you going to open it? You're just going to take the coin out your pocket? Are you going to magically appear it? Are you going to take another object and turn it into a coin? Are you going to have a coin purse and produce a coin out of a coin purse? Are you going to have a pen and throw a coin out of a pen cap or something like that? Where are you going to go with this? Once you've got the opening production, then what vanishes are you going to use? Okay, so you're going to use a retention vanish. Great. So where's that coin going to reappear? It's going to go under my elbow. Okay, so where are you going to go from this? Because what you don't want to do is change grips in the course of the Flurry. And what I mean by that, let's say if I'm doing a vanish from here and making it come over here, I don't want to then put the coin in this hand for no reason in order to do a vanish over here. You want to routine all this together. So it might be, I'm going to put the coin, squeeze, make it disappear. It goes underneath my elbow. Look, let me do that again. I'm going to put the coin over here and it comes over here. Now look, I'm going to put the coin in this hand. And you know, do you know what I mean? Think about the vanishes. That I don't really do many Flurries these days, but think about all the vanishes and the reproductions and the sequences and how they can fly into one another. Then think about the moves you want to use. Do you want to just do simple vanishes? Or do you want to get really fancy and start doing stuff like that and start doing JW grip? Or do you want to kind of go into the sort of the David Stone style stuff and start doing back thumb arms and having coins reappear from a back thumb arm? Think about all these different ways that you want to do it, and then how are you going to do the finale? Are you going to do a jumbo coin? Okay, or are you going to take the coin and kind of go into more of an impromptu Hitman Rune Clarence type thing where the coin turns into a pen and then the pen's in the coin and then the pen disappears and the coin disappears? Because all that is taking a Flurry and adding a pen to it, right? So how are you going to do the finale? Are you going to turn it into something else? What can you turn it into? Some AirPods. Right, I'm going to take the coin and turn it into an AirPods. So where's the coin going to appear? Well, now they're inside the AirPod, or whatever it may be. There's lots of different options here. Think about piece of paper, opening, middle sequence, finale. Create your own. And there's one other thing that I'd tell you as well is look into Gary Kurtz's Unexplainable Acts. In his book, he presents a routine called Flurrious, which is an amazing routine. It starts as a normal coin Flurry, where a coin appears and disappears, but then the coin grows to a 3-inch coin, and then it shrinks back into a normal coin, then it grows again, then you get 2 coins, and the coins are jumping around all over the place, and you end up with a 5-inch coin, and there's so much going on. I performed that for years and years and years. It was a challenge for myself to learn it. It's an amazing routine. So think outside the box is the point I'm trying to make. Don't just take other people's routines and say, right, okay, I'm going to do the Roth routine. think about, what can you take from Michael Amar? What can you take from David Roth? What can you take from Gary Kurtz? What can you take from Greg Wilson? Now, how are you going to put your own personality and your own stamp on that? And that's how you create a coin flurry that is completely unique to you, as opposed to being a carbon copy of somebody else like Greg Wilson. So I hope that helps. But if you want any further questions about this, let me know in the comments below. Okay, so the next question is by Clive St. James Greenaway. Craig, what is your opinion of personalised name badges? You can get some really smart ones quite cheaply. Guests know you're working, they call you by your name, and they know you're a mind reader, magician, etc. Got this in the corporate world. I think you have to be careful. I think it could be, really, I think it's down to understanding your character. So we all know Greg Wilson, for example. Greg Wilson would not be caught dead with a name badge going, "Hi, my name is Greg." He just wouldn't. It's not part of his character. That kind of cheeky con man style character is not somebody who would wear a name badge. So I think it's down to the character. Would your character, because maybe your character is that you're you're almost like a businessman, and you do a lot of business networking events or business events, and in that case, that would kind of make sense because everybody else has got a name badge or a lanyard on as well. So it's kind of about understanding your character and making sure it would fit within your character. The other thing is the environment. And what I mean by that is if you're at a festival, it'd be a bit odd maybe if you had a name badge on. Whilst there's certain environments like the corporate world, for example, if you're doing an event where everyone's got a name badge on, it would make more sense. So there's a couple of considerations there. And then you're kind of thinking about, well, what sort of name badge should I use? I can't remember who it was. I'll tell you when it was. It was at the IBM SAM Combined Convention in Kentucky, way, way back. And I remember being there, and there was a dealer there, and I cannot remember which dealer it was. But there was a dealer there, a small dealer, and they had a name badge thing. But what it was like one of those scrolling name badges, if you know what I mean. It was like, and you could program it. So it was it was thin like a name badge. It was there, and it was scrolling along, and it said, "Hi, my name is blah." So it looked like a normal name badge, but he had a remote control on it that could change it to one of five different messages. So or a static message. So, his opener was, "Hi, my name's Craig. I'm the magician," just in case you forget. Look, it says here, "Hi, my name is Craig." You can see it scrolling along. "Let me do a trick. Can you pick a card for me?" Fantastic. I'm going to try and find the card. "Oh, I've failed it. I've failed," whatever it may be. And when they look up, this has changed to the name of their playing card. Now, for me, that's cool. Well, I don't know how cool it is, but that's a better way of doing things because, first of all, it's very, very different to what somebody else would be wearing. And I think that's important. I think that when you're going to an event, you want to stand out from the crowd. You don't want to be, you're the magician. You're there. You're the center of attention. You're meant to be larger than life. Now, I'm not saying you go full on Daryl or Sean Farquhar and go in a purple suit, unless that's your character. But what I'm saying is you want to kind of be recognized as somebody more than just every other delegate that's there. That would kind of do the job if you wanted a name tag, because it looks very different. Nobody else will have a name tag like that. It's also got a built-in magic trick. And the other thing is, if you're not going to use that style of thing, what could you do to incorporate a magic trick into it? Well, I know Cameron Francis had a name badged trick, which was really, really cool, a little while ago, many, many years ago actually, where he stuck a sticker saying, "Hi, my name is Cameron," and something happened and it ended up finding a selected card. I can't remember, but it was really, really good. Also, if you've got a lanyard, I mean, you can do so much stuff with a lanyard. If you're at one of these events and you've got a lanyard, and when you wear a lanyard, well, there's so much stuff you can do. You can have this routines that are designed. Magic World, I think it was, we reviewed it on the channel, had a card in lanyard effect, which was quite good, signed folded card in lanyard. But I've seen lots of other stuff with lanyards as well. Or you can just have a force card in there and just, have someone pick a card but force it, or use a Svengali deck if you want to make it really easy, and then just have a force card appear inside there. So if you're going to go to the trouble of having a name badge, what I would do, Clive, there you go, I can remember your name, sorry then. If you're going to go to the trouble of having a name badge, Clive, A, does it fit the environment? B, does it fit your performing character? C, how can you incorporate it into your act? Because, thinking about it, you could do some really cool Gate and Bloom, Tommy Wonder style misdirection moments where, think about it. Again, it's about using your creativity. So how can you have a multi-phase card appearing in somewhere like a name tag or a name badge or lanyard? How can you have like card on the box, but with a lanyard? So, the card disappears. Oh, it's inside the lanyard. Let me do that again. Maybe you missed it. Like a Steve Bedwell Walkman style thing where you say at the beginning, I'm going to get that card into this lanyard 3 times, and at no point will you see it go. And now it's become a challenge and everyone's focusing and, you're doing something else. But did you miss the card going into the lanyard? So think about it. Yeah, it's okay to do, but make sure that you stand out from the crowd. You want people to understand that you are the magician and you're not just another delegate there. I think that's important, or at least that's important for me. And outside of that, just try and incorporate some magic into it. You're a magician after all. You've been hired to do magic. If you're going to have a name tag or a lanyard on, try and use it to the best of your ability to actually incorporate it into the act. Okay, so the next question is by Pops Elliot. How you doing, Pops? Elliot? Pops? I'll call you Pops. How you doing, Pops? Great video as always. Thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate it. Upload the footage of the show. We are going to. Question for the next video. What are your thoughts on creators releasing their stuff in limited quantities with exorbitant price tags? I kind of did a rant on this yesterday. So if you had Friday, sorry. If you haven't seen that rant, go back and watch it. The rant was more about piracy. So it was about, I'm not going to get into it now. You can go and watch the video. It's like a 15-minute video. But it's all about pirates that pirate magic and people that buy pirated magic because they think that creators charge too much. And that's a subject that really annoys me. You can go back and watch that. So I kind of covered it there. But basically, my attitude is very simple. Creators, let's just assume that the creator we're talking about is somebody who's good. Yeah, it's somebody who's got a good track record of bringing out quality material. They're not some muppet who doesn't understand, who's just literally had a brain fart and decided to release it to the magic community. This is somebody who's spent time and effort putting together a routine, putting together everything, working it in the real world. It's a physical product that they understand will kill. They've worked it in the real world, so to speak. Okay, they can charge whatever they want. It's up to you to decide whether to buy it or not, but they can charge whatever they want, and creators will charge higher prices for a few different reasons. I've spoken to Scott Alexander. This is a guy that puts out very high-priced items. And the reason he puts out very high-priced items is because he has spent a long time developing the routines that he releases. This is all stuff that he has actually performed in his act. He never releases something unless he's performed it, which is why you always see live performances in front of an audience when you buy anything from Scott Alexander. But I've spent I remember when I bought Wishes 3.0, I spent over £1,000 for that. I remember when I bought Message in a Bottle, I spent over £1,000 for that. Even something as simple as Superfly, which is just a simple cards across with with the simple cards across, I spent about £250 on that. So, you could say, what, cards across is £250? That's ridiculous. Well, no, it's not, because I've done that in every single possible gig you can possibly imagine. The Superfly routine has literally taken me around the UK and back again, performing that routine at a very high level. So it was absolutely worth it for me. Now, Scott charges the price that he does because he doesn't want everybody doing his routine. He feels that that's the price that his creations are worth. And if that's the case, fair enough. Who are we to argue with that? He also doesn't want everybody doing his routines. It's why a lot of the stuff he's bought out has been done in a limited quantity, because he doesn't want everybody performing his routines. And he'll openly say, when they're gone, and I'm not going to release any more. And that's absolutely fine as well. It's his prerogative. Now, if you or anybody else doesn't want to buy that trick, if you think it's too expensive, that's fine, you don't have to buy it. But if you watch the trick and you really like it and you really want it, but you think it's too expensive, well, that's the price he's chosen to pay for it. He's chosen to charge for it. It's kind of like, if a car manufacturer brings out a car, let's say Ferrari bring out a new car, if you really like that Ferrari, but you think it's too expensive, Ferrari, you're not going to be able to ring up Ferrari and go, yeah, I really like your new car. I'd like you to drop $100,000 off it, please, so I can buy it. They just laugh in your face. Well, it's kind of, it's the creator's choice. It's your choice as a consumer whether you actually ultimately buy that trick or not. And if you don't want to buy it, that's absolutely fine, because there's a million magic tricks that are released every single day. You don't have to buy it. But if you like it and you want it, then you have to pay what the creator's asking for, because that's the price that they've asked for. So the first reason that somebody might charge more and do it in a limited quantity is for that reason. They just want to, they think that that's what it's worth, and they want to keep it in a limited quantity because they don't want everyone doing it. Yeah, and I understand that. Pen through anything. One day, everybody does pen through anything now. It's in every single magic set around the world. John Cornelius's pen through note. It's everywhere. Everybody does it. Well, it wasn't always the case. At one point, people were killing with that routine. Nobody was doing it. Now everyone does it. So I can understand why a creator would want to keep the price expensive and reduce the amount of people that are buying it. Totally get that. I'll give you one more example of that. I bought something called Cubism by Chaim Goldberg and Assi Wind. And it's a download. You don't get any physical props with it. I paid £100 for a download. That was worth it for me, because I knew that I would be able to do that trick in my act. Now you might go, well, £100 for a download? I think it might be more, actually. It might have been 150, whatever price it was. That for a 45, 50-minute download? Isn't that ridiculously expensive? Well, yeah, it is expensive, but I've used it in so many shows now, it's paid for itself 1,000,000 times over. And I know not many people are doing it. So it gives me a routine to do that not many people are doing. So for me, it was worth paying that price. You then have people that, another reason it might be high priced is the amount of effort that's been put into it. Somebody might have spent years developing prototypes, spending a fortune on developing prototypes, throwing it in the bin. No, that's not going to work. Let me try again. I've seen David Penn do that over and over again. He will, I remember when he was creating CoinVex. I was there when he was creating CoinVex, and the amount of prototypes that were going in the bin was ridiculous. He must have spent a fortune developing that trick until it got to a point where he was happy with it. So the cost that's associated with that, plus that's not even taken into consideration the cost in terms of their time. Again, let's use David Penn as an example. He's a busy working professional. He can go and make a lot of money by going and doing a gig. But if he's sitting there working on a routine and working on the handling for this thing, time is money. He has to compensate himself. So all of the time and effort he's put into it, routining it and creating a finished product that then gets sold to you, so you can then do it in your show and amaze your audiences. He needs to get compensated for that, because it's probably cost him a lot in time and effort and money with all the different prototypes. And the other reason it might be expensive is it's just an expensive product to put together. Take the new Tom Wright thing, Gravity, by Miranda and Tom Wright. That's not a cheap product, but I've seen it. I know what it is. I understand why it's not a cheap product. It's not a cheap product because of everything that's involved in it, all the electronics. It must cost a fortune to put together. Must cost an absolute fortune. So what's my thoughts? My thoughts are the creators can do whatever they want. They have set their price based on how good they think the trick is and how much it's worth. And it's up to us as the end consumer to decide whether to buy it or not. If nobody buys it, then the creator's made a mistake. But again, taking Scott Alexander, for example, he always puts products out. And when he does, he always charges higher than anyone else. And he always continues to do it. If nobody was buying Scott's products, he'd probably drop the prices or not bother putting stuff out. But he puts stuff out all of the time. He always charges a high amount, and he always gets the money he's asked for. So people are buying it. So if people are buying it, why would he then go, well, okay, guys, the next thing I'm going to put out is going to be £5? Do you know what I mean? So it's up to you to decide whether to buy a product off a creator or not. It's up to the creator to decide what price to charge for it. Okay, so the next question is, thanks for the answer, Craig. Question for next time. What are your thoughts on the movie? This is by Hungry and Hungover, by the way. Hi, Hungry and Hungover. What are your thoughts on movies Now You See Me 1 or 2? Or if you haven't seen those, what are your thoughts on Prestige or Illusionist? Well, Prestige and Illusionist are classics, aren't they? They're absolutely amazing. Now You See Me 1 and 2, I mean, they were a bit outlandish, weren't they? But I like them. Here's the thing, I like watching trashy movies. Two of my favourite films are the worst films you've ever seen. Well, actually, one of them's quite good. They Live with Roddy Piper, who was my favourite wrestler. Jack Carpenter's They Live, which is, you go back and look at it, it's a bit hokey. And if you've never seen it, go and watch the trailer after you finish this video. Go on YouTube and type in Roddy Piper, Hell Comes to Frogtown. It is the most ridiculously bad movie I have ever seen, but it's so bad, it's hilarious. It's set just go and watch the trailer. You won't believe me. Hell comes to Frogtown. So bad it's good. But the point is, I love watching all films. I'm a movie buff. I love watching all films, good films, bad films. Makes no difference to me. Now You See Me 1 and 2 I actually thought were quite good. Now You See, I loved the sequence with the card in Now You See Me 2. It was completely over the top, but it made good cinema, in my opinion. Now You See Me 1, I absolutely, I thought there were some really great sequences in there, I really did. But ultimately, my attitude towards any film that presents magic in a positive way, and I mean in a positive way, so you look back at a comedy like The Magicians, that's not really that positive because it portrays magicians as geeks and nerds, which ultimately we probably are, to be perfectly honest. But, you know, films like Now You See Me 1 and 2, it portrays magic in such a positive way. Oh, look at these magicians, they're cool, they're amazing. That's only good for the industry. Because if people go watch those films, they go, oh, that's amazing. Oh, wow, that's really good. I think I like magic. Hey, should we get a magician for our next event? Let's get a magician. It's all positive. It's all good. So I'm all for any film that portrays magic in a positive way. As for Now You See Me 1 or 2, I thought they were both good. I thought 1 was better than 2, but 2 was still pretty good. And as for The Prestige and The Illusionist, well, they were absolutely brilliant. And you've asked about those 4 films. What was that? My favourite film with magicians in, and it's just so ridiculously over the top, it's hilarious. Burt Wonderstone, which is just hilarious. If you've not seen Burt Wonderstone, go and check it out. It is the funniest film you'll ever see. It's hilarious. It really is. And I'm not going to ruin it for you. Go watch a trailer. But I've watched that film probably 10 or 15 times. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So if you want to know what I think the best film is that portrays magicians, it's Burt Wonderstone. Okay, so the next question is by Mr. Harmon. Mr. Harmon asked 2 questions. We'll cover them both very quickly. Question number 1, has Thea started to learn magic? Kind of, little bit, yes. I interviewed somebody called Ashley Goodwin the other week. She's not gone live yet, but Thea has watched some of her videos and is now obsessed with Ashley Goodwin, who she thinks looks like a princess, and has suddenly taken a real interest in magic. Before that, she didn't have much of an interest. Now she has. She's been running around the house the last few days doing the dice bomb over and over again, and she's been doing sponge balls. She's learned a sponge ball routine. I put a video up on the Instagram page of Thea doing a sponge ball routine. So yeah, she started to learn how to do magic. My attitude towards Thea is the same my attitude towards Ryland. As long as they want to learn, I will happily teach them, but I'm never going to force them into learning magic. But yeah, she's started dabbling and she's liking it. Number 2, in your opinion, how many tricks do you need to know before you can class yourself as a magician? Well, in my opinion, you know, all you have to do is have a desire to want to learn magic. You know, I think that if you have a desire to learn magic, you can class yourself as an amateur magician or a person that... What is a magician? A magician is somebody who does tricks. You know, so if you learn 1 simple trick, you're a magician. It's as simple as that. If you learn 2 tricks, you're a magician. Now, there's different levels of magicians and illusionists and so on and so forth. But, you know, let's make magic fun. It goes back to what I said at the very beginning about the magic circle. Let's make magic fun. We need more people in magic. I've talked about this. You know, elitism in magic. Let's make it really inclusive. You know, this is the sort of thing that would start arguments on a Facebook page. You know, I've just got into magic and I've learned this trick and I'm loving magic. I love being a magician, and somebody jumps on in there and goes, you only know 1 trick, you're not a magician. Well, shut up. You know, people can call themselves whatever they want to. If they want to call themselves a magician, you know, if I jump in let me use an example. So if I jump in a swimming pool, yeah, and I take swimming lessons and I can barely doggy paddle, but I can doggy paddle just about. I can keep floating. I'm not going to sink. Well, then I'm swimming. If I'm swimming, I'm a swimmer. Now, I may not be a professional swimmer. I'm not going to enter the Olympics anytime soon. But just in the act of me jumping in a swimming pool and not drowning, I am a swimmer, right? So, you know, if it's the same with magic. If I learn how to do magic and I can do a trick, I'm a magician. Now, there's different levels of magician. I'm not a professional magician. I'm not going to go and enter FISM. But that should be encouraged. If people are calling themselves a magician, it means they're enjoying being in the magic community. And ultimately, in my opinion, that's a good thing. So the next question is by MC Games Master 90. And MC says, congratulations on 5,000 subs. Thank you. I have two questions. Number one, do you have any plans to celebrate 5K? Special videos, live streams, etc. No. Although we do have something very, very, very special planned with 10K, like super special planned, which shouldn't take too long. I don't know how long it's going to take, but hopefully it won't take too long. But we have got something mega special lined up for 10K. But with regards to live streams, I've had a few people say to me, do you do live streams? And it's not anything I've ever considered doing. But I mean, if enough people wanted me to do one every couple of weeks, I probably would, and just do a Q&A session live. What I don't want to do is do a live stream and no one turns up and I'm just there twiddling my thumbs with one person. But if enough people want to see it, I can probably make it happen. Let me know in the comments down below. Would you like me to do a live stream? Is that something that you guys would be into? Let me know. I don't know if that's a thing that people like to watch. Number two, when the pandemic is over, will you have other magicians come on the channel in person? Yes, I absolutely will have other magicians come on the channel in person. Obviously, it sometimes it's awkward, like flying somebody over from a completely different country to come on the channel would make it very difficult. The way that I'm doing the interviews right now is very easy because I do it over the internet and then I spend time editing it together, and I think that's the best way to do it. But I have got a lot of stuff planned for this channel that wouldn't be possible in the middle of a pandemic. There's going to be a lot more live performances as well. There's going to be an awful lot. And I don't mean magic lives and I'm here performing it to camera. I'm talking about live performances, me going out, because I want to talk more about audience management. And I want to do more commentary tracks of videos, me performing and saying, hey, this is why I did this. This is why I did this. So that's going to be something that I'm going to be doing an awful lot of as well. Okay, so the next question is by Stanley Fish. Hey, Stanley Fish. The question is, who, in your opinion, is the best magician you know that nobody else will have heard of? Okay, interesting question. Who's the best magician I know that nobody else will have heard of? Very easy to answer. Hands down, Nemid Phoenix. Nemid Phoenix is one of my closest friends in magic, and he is absolutely incredible. He is one of the best magicians you will ever meet. He constantly blows me away with his technique, with cards and coins and pretty much anything. He can literally sit there and fool you over and over again and do it with a smile on his face. The other thing about Nemid is he is hilarious. He's got a very dry sense of humor. If you've ever seen Jack D, he's kind of got that sort of sense of humor. He's a very, very funny guy. And I just love spending time with Nemid. I learned so much from watching him. I did a gig the day after my birthday. My birthday was on the 12th of April. 13th of April, I did a gig. It was an all-day gig in Manchester. And I was shooting a whole bunch of close-up magic for a social media company that I work for. And they were wanting me to do a whole bunch of pickup shots, and I spent the day filming and on the streets and doing magic for people. And Nemid was there with me, and he was just doing stuff. And we grabbed food afterwards in a service station on the way back, and we were sitting there for like 2 hours, and he was just showing me trick after trick after trick, just blowing me away every single time. You think I've got a big repertoire? You ought to see this guy. He's incredible. So if you ask the question, who's the best magician that you've probably never heard of before, it's Nemid Phoenix, because he's too busy being busy. He's too busy just going out and smashing it to be sort of famous to the magic community. But you know what? I might be able to convince him to do an interview. If enough people want to see an interview with Nemid Phoenix, I'll ask him. If it's something, I don't want to put an interview up if you guys aren't into it. But let me know down below if it's something you want to see. I'll reach out to him and see if I can get him to do an interview. I don't think he's ever done one. But you guys need to know about Nemid. He's incredible. Okay, and the final question is for Sam Fuller Illusionist. Craig, you the man. Thank you, Sam. Next, if I could get your tips to soothe the baby that won't sleep, that would be awesome. Well, you know what? We were really lucky with Ryland and Thea because they did sleep. And I don't want to, what you don't want to do to new parents is tell them how to parent, because we had people telling us how to parent when we had Ryland and Thea, and we hated it. So I'm not telling you what to do, but all I can say is when I had Ryland with Thea, when I had Ryland with Sarah, she really was insisting right from day one that we have a routine. And I didn't want a routine. I wanted, let him stay up and, he can go to bed when he's when he cries, we can keep him up and blah, 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 blah. And she was like, no, he needs a routine. He needs to go to bed at this time. He needs to wake up at this time. We need to keep him in a routine. We need to keep him awake at this time. He naps at this time. And I'm like, well, this seems a bit weird, but okay, you know better than me. And every single person I've seen use this kind of routine principle. It's worked right from the first week. Ryland was sleeping like a baby. He was sleeping all the way through, and then the same with Thea. They were both absolutely fantastic sleepers. I didn't have sleepless nights as a parent very often at all because of this whole routine thing that Sarah did. So if I can give you one piece of advice, Sam, about having a baby that won't sleep, try and put a routine together in place, because that worked wonders for us. So there you go, Magic TV. Not just advice on magic, but also advice on parenting. So there you go, guys. That's another Q&A in the bag, as Ryland would say. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and please ask questions. This channel lives and dies by the questions you ask. So please ask a whole bunch of questions. I promise I will get to them next week. And one more time, thank you very much for joining in the channel. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it, as does everybody else behind the scenes. Don't forget to like the video. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel, and I will be back again tomorrow with what am I going? It's Monday, so I'm going to have a 5x5 at 9 o'clock, a shorts at 2 o'clock, and a Magic Live at 6 o'clock. I'll see you again. Thanks very much for watching, and my name is Craig from Magic TV.